Hi, everyone. Welcome to our featured CARSP member video interview. My name is Emily McCullough, and I am the current editor of the CARSP Safety Network newsletter. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Val Smith, Director of Road Safety Programs at Parachute Canada and former CARSP member president, as well as my longtime friend and colleague. Val, welcome.
Thank you, Emily.
So I'm going to start with asking, how did you get involved in the road safety world?
Yeah, so I actually never really planned to work in road safety, to be fully transparent. It was not an intentional career path for me. My background from my early 20s was in international development, and I did my master's degree at U of T in education with a focus on international development. And from there, I spent at least 12 plus years working overseas. I worked in Central America, South America, Eastern Africa, the Caribbean. And my work was really focused on youth, HIV/AIDS, and uh, broader health programming. When I had my daughter Harper, who's now 16, and I decided to go back to work, I knew I wanted to stay in the charitable sector. I wanted to stay in the health sector, but I wasn't specifically looking for road safety. Opportunity came up for me at an organization called Smart Risk, which some of you might remember. Smart Risk was very focused on youth and injury prevention. And I applied as a manager of the youth programs, and I was successful in the position. And then, over the years, Smart Risk eventually became Parachute. It amalgamated as one of four national organizations. And then over time, my portfolio at Parachute just became bigger and bigger in terms of road safety. And I moved from manager to director. And my entire portfolio was road safety and safe mobility. I wouldn't say I'm a technical expert in road safety. I don't see myself that way. My role is more around strategy, program development, and innovation, and figuring out how we can move things forward in our road safety space, bring people together, and create impact.
Wow, that's really wonderful. And I see kind of this theme throughout your previous work and current work in really wanting to empower like marginalized groups, like folks that don't have access to resources or victims of structural inequities and all of that. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because again, when I started focusing more on road safety 10 plus years ago, and our role was very focused on, I would say, individual behavior change, which is still extremely important. Um, we were less focused, I think, on some of those equity pieces. And focused on vulnerable road users, and I really love how this space has opened up now, and we are specifically looking at equity. We're looking at who are the most vulnerable folks on our road and how do we protect them. And the space has opened up to be much broader and much more holistic than it used to be.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you. So on that theme, can you tell us a bit about this Road Safety Coalition?
Yeah, so it's the Canadian Coalition for the Global Decade of Action for Road Safety. That's a handful or a mouthful. We are heading into the third year of the coalition. Parachute co-leads it with CARSP. And the original intent was really to align Canada with the Global Decade of Action for Road Safety, which, as I said, runs from 2021 to 2030. So, as part of the Global Decade, there's a global plan that came out of that, and it's actually a really excellent framework. It focuses on proven evidence-based interventions. It is based on a safe systems framework, and it prioritizes things like speed management, protecting vulnerable road users, traffic calming, and also improving helmet and seatbelt use in some of the other countries around the world. And what we felt was missing in Canada was the support of the Global Decade of Action for Road Safety amongst our civil society and government. And in fact, actually just a non-awareness of it. Um, There's a lot of organizations doing really important work in mobility and road safety, urban planning, but we're not always speaking with a unified voice. In fact, we're not always talking. So the coalition was really about bringing all these groups, or some of these groups, we're still building it out, together to align priorities and amplify impact, aligned with the Global Decade of Action for Road Safety. Um, yeah, so we've made some really solid progress. It's been steady based on capacity and funding, so slow and steady. But over the past couple of years, as I said, we've focused on speed, particularly in urban areas. In 2024 and 2025, we took a close look at technologies around speed, automated speed enforcement as well, and looked at the growing, more relevant conversations around vehicle size and safety.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And it's such a wonderful kind of step forward to see this coalition formed. Like, as I'm a bit more familiar with like the academic literature on the subject, and one of the significant barriers to getting built environment changes made or like these speed interventions implemented is these like sectoral silos. Is that, a lot of these folks are doing these really good work in all these different areas, and we're missing the opportunity to really leverage each other's skills and resources. So this seems like a really positive step forward, and it's quite uplifting in this space.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point because when we looked at building the coalition, it wasn't just road safety groups. We wanted to look at groups that were very focused on mobility, on building greener, more sustainable communities, cycling communities. So we've got a lot of really great organizations that are trying to find similarities in our agendas that we can push forward. And I guess it's important for me to mention that one of the big pieces of the global plan and the most recent global decade is the importance of civil society working with government. Um, and the coalition is very much focused on building the relationship between our coalition, between groups working at a national, provincial, territorial, and municipal level. Um, and working with the government to move the dial. So civil society does play a really strong role, and we're hoping that the coalition will help to amplify that.
Yeah, as well as lessons for collaboration in other sectors too, right? Like
Mhm.
the ripple effects of this are huge potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still have a lot of growth. There's other groups we can be starting to try to leverage. We want to bring in enforcement. They absolutely play a role. We want to bring in some more research groups. So we have voices from the different sectors represented, but there's always different NGOs and associations that touch road safety, but they may not even know that they're involved or have a goal around road safety, but they do.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thanks, Val. So, what advice would you give folks who are interested in pursuing a career in road safety?
I think what I would say is that stay resilient. It's an amazing sector to work in. It's a tight community of people that are extremely committed and dedicated, but it's not always easy to find work in the field, especially as funding and resources continue to be depleted. In Canada, but also all around the world, we're seeing a shrinking space dedicated to not only road safety but other social justice issues, as you know, and public health issues. Um, so stay resilient. Open your um, views a little bit because you may not be able to end up directly in road safety. You might start in public health, and then you may find yourself working in mobility and road safety as you go. So I think just being nimble and resilient.
Yeah, that's great advice. And um, linking this back to the previous question about the coalition, like another opportunity to kind of really see how these skills and this topic can be addressed and leveraged across different sectors, right? And even though you may not see exactly how you fit now, like look at the coalition and what it's doing and who they're involved with, and there may be opportunities that one never really thought of or imagined.
Exactly, exactly. Like participation is a member of our coalition, and they're very focused on active living and being physical literacy. And, a lot of people wouldn't make that direct connection that the work they're doing does impact mobility, and mobility impacts keeping people safe on the roads. So, yeah, there's all sorts of intersections that are really important. Um, and the more we start to recognize that, the more our opportunities will open up, I think, especially as young professionals.
Yeah, great. So we're going to end on the fun question. Can you tell us a fun fact about yourself, Val?
So I was thinking about that question, Emily, and I couldn't really think of a funny fact about myself. Um, I think one of the quirky things about me is that I actually have a secondary role or job doing rural real estate. I have a 16-year-old daughter. I ride horses. Um, I work at Parachute and also volunteer overseas. So I have a lot going on in my life at all points. But anyone who knows me will tease me for losing my keys, losing my credit cards, and my phone on a regular basis. So I think that would be a quirky and funny point about me is very good at multitasking and doing lots of different things, but literally cannot keep my keys accessible.
Well, you're doing a lot of really important and good work. So I think it's okay to let a few things slip and slide here and
Thanks.
there. Well, Val, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure today having this chat with you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we sign off?
No, thank you, Emily, for your work, and thanks to CARSP as well. CARSP has always been a longtime partner to Parachute, and yeah, just keep on doing the great work with the editorial.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And to our audience, thank you for your time today. If you or anyone that you know may be interested in sharing their road safety wisdom and work in a featured CARSP member interview like this one, please feel free to reach out to info@carsp.ca. Until next time, see you folks.